Hello, handy viewers such as you are, and welcome to Don't Touch the Beard 16, in which I video, document, talk nonsense over the top of games of Guild Ball. This one was recorded at SteamCon 2017 with a guest opponent. Opponent happens to be Parker of the Battlehammer, so this is a special SteamCon 2017 Don't Touch the Battlehammer, and here we are talking stuff.
And I'm going to go, ahoy ahoy.
Hello there, handy viewers, such as you are.
Again, that's all I had planned for this bit. So it could go either way from this point. So we are here, it is day 2 at SteamCon. It is 10:30 in the morning because I had breakfast today, which was nice.
Good idea.
Yeah, I was a fan. Oh, I'm over there as well.
I'm really confused by this whole multi-camera thing. So, ahoy hoy, this is Rich from Beard Minis, aka The Beard, so called because of his glorious facial hair. And I think this is now not a beard, this is just
No, that's a full
facial
beard.
hair.
I've been very critical of people like Jason from Singled Out for sporting what I refer to as a partial.
Yeah.
And as I point, I was having a lovely chat with Ross yesterday. I did say I was very impressed with the model for Sculpt, that even though he doesn't have a beard, he has a better beard than Jason. So that was good. Yeah.
Accurate. Can I ask you a genuine tip?
Yeah.
I'm really bad for picking hairs out of my bit, like doink, doink, doink. And I found out online it is a thing. There's a name for it. It's like triskaidecamania or something.
Right.
It's like a habitual thing.
Okay.
Do you not have that problem? I mean,
I do this a lot. And if you notice, it's a lot thinner in the middle because I do that a lot.
Because you play with it,
yeah.
giggity. So what? Apparently blacksmiths you're liking for some.
Well,
who knew?
I've been umming and ahhing about blacksmith because, of course, I started doing the preview videos back in July for blacksmiths, and I've thoroughly enjoyed that process. And of course, getting Jamie Perkins, friend of the channel, he now has a T-shirt with friend of the channel written on it, which should put you in shock. I wouldn't. And I've been, because I freely admit I have the hipster gene, so if everyone else starts playing something, I immediately don't want to play it. And I'm like, oh, they're going to be everywhere, and they're my thing, and they've got massive beards, but they're going to be everywhere. Maybe I should look at hunters or morticians, because I think they're going to be really good into blacksmiths. And then I went to Jumpers for Guild Post 3 the other weekend, and I met Sherwin, who was my second round matchup, and he's like, oh, hey, you're the blacksmith guy. I was like, right, well,
Now
that's it. I've got no choice now. If someone from Steamforged is going, you're the blacksmith guy, I'm now the blacksmith. That's fine. So I'm sending them away to be painted by the same chap that did Kev Bryant's Union.
Oh, really?
Yes. So they'll be back mid-January, just in time for my birthday.
Nice.
Totally planned. So I'm not going to use them until then. So I'm not using them this weekend, which is taking tremendous willpower. A little bit.
So do go and check out if you're interested. I don't know what I'm telling you guys because you already know. You guys don't already know. So if you don't know Beard Minis, go and look up Beard Minis on the YouTube. You can see his T-shirt, but he's not wearing one.
And it's dirty now.
So Beard Minis, they're doing match reports.
Yep.
You're doing. There's a lot of blacksmith breakdowns. Even went to the effort of doing blacksmith breakdown of the new players who were just seen at SteamCon.
Yeah, they went up yesterday. I was the first one to pick them up, and then I immediately went back to my hotel room to take pictures and put them on gubs.
Like a boss.
Like a boss. Equally, if you're watching Don't Touch the Beard and you don't know what this man does, I do what I do because of Straw and Parker, because it basically showed me that you don't have to have any kind of tactical insight to be able to produce a YouTube video. You just have to swear a lot and have fun comedy. On my channel, that'll be edited because I try and say family safe.
It won't be on ours.
It won't be on ours. So there you go, bonus content.
Hello, brethren.
Bryce's voice appears as if from nowhere. Right, we're going to go and have a game, which you will see soon. So Don't Touch the Battlehammer will be a thing. So
do touch
if you
the
want to
Battlehammer,
like and subscribe,
don't forget to like.
I have no idea, but
That bit.
So throughout the course of the weekend, most of us in the casual play area were playtesting the new Rookie League system that looks like Steamforged are going to introduce. Really fun take on the game. Essentially, each team is given a rookie, and you have 2 options for the front card and 2 options for the back card, which kind of emphasise the different aspects of that individual character. After each game, you can then choose to upgrade either your front card or your back card. Once you start down one path, that's it, and If you wanted to go back to the beginning, well, you had to go back to the beginning. So through the course of the weekend, I was using Fangtooth with my union as voted for by the handy Twitterers, and I went down the bloodthirsty front and the thug reverse, as Jason from Singled Out was doing the cosplay bunny version of Fangtooth, making use of his Easter limited edition model, and we want to compare notes at the end. So on screen now you can see the front card of my current level of the rookie Fangtooth, and if I flip it over to the reverse, we can see the thug side. So I still have that gluttonous mass, stars trigger. I'm a big fan of Fangtooth's Paradise for a bit of extra healing. Haven't got my heroic up yet, which is a bit like Fangtooth Unleashed, but a smaller pulse. No foul loader, which is great, and I'm a big fan of that playbook. Parker, on the other hand, hadn't played quite so many games as me at this point, as he'd arrived late Friday evening. And he's using Planter version of Windle. So maybe I had a bit of an advantage in this game. If he wants to claim that, I'm more than happy to let him. Yep, that was the front card of Planter, Windle, and this in turn is the reverse. This bloke wouldn't leave us alone the entire afternoon. One of the downfalls of being a minor YouTube celebrity. So I went with Veteran Rage, Strongbox, Rookie Fangtooth, Grace, Minx, and Mist. And Parker went with Grange, Peck, Rookie Windle, Harrow, Farrow, and Taters. That's not going to become a thing, is it? Not content with one set of experimental rules, why not throw in another? And we used guild identity cards. I selected Pirate's Ransom, meaning that if at the end of the initiative phase my opponent has initiative, I gain an additional 2 points of momentum. As Parker went with Crack of Dawn, which means before the kickoff takes place, he may place 2 harvest markers within his half of the pitch. This keeps his heal rate at 4, but mine is dropped to 3. Which I'm fine with, as handy viewers such as you are, you may have noticed over the last 15 or so episodes, I entirely forget to heal at nearly every opportunity. I kick out with Mist, and she slams the wall, or he even, keep doing that, but then I'm not alone, slams the wall into the wall just ball, slams the ball into the wall just in front of the Peck. Allocation then, Parker gives 1 to Peck, 1 to Windle, 2 to Taters, 3 to Grange, 1 to Harrow, and 1 to Fallow. I in turn put 4 on Mist, 1 on Grace, 3 on Rage, 1 on Strongbox, 1 on Fangtooth, and none on Minx. So Peck jogs forward and collects the ball, making her way around the terrain, and then passes the ball successfully, making use of the family aura from Grange to Windle. I activate Mist, who acrobatics for 1 influence, getting a 2-inch dodge. Mist then charges into the ball carrying Windle. So that's attack 8 versus the 2s and O's of Windles. 8 net hits, all of them smash home, so a tackle and a momentous double dodge on the wrap. So with my last point of influence and a newly acquired point of momentum, I'm going to...
and forgive me for saying it, but I'm going to try and kick in the goal. Your goal, not my goal. Kick in the goal.
So that makes it 4-0 to the Union over the Farmers straight away, and predictably I play the knee slider card to get the hell away from young Windle. Parker activates Harrow and sprints forward, collecting the ball, and sprints the remainder of his move back again, unsnapping the ball within an inch, but it's just outside of an inch to snap to Grange. I activate Minx, who charges forward up the pitch thanks to the Furious rule, and then her turn immediately ends as the charge failed. The man at the top of the screen, who's just out of shot, whose forearms you can scantily see. I'm pointing at him right now. That is Matthew Hackett, known as Big Grumpy Gamer. He runs a fantastic podcast on iTunes called The Rookie. I will put a link in the doobly-doo. Go and give it a listen. So Tater jogs up the pitch, snapping the ball en route. He then makes a pass to Windle, again under the For the Family aura, and successfully makes the pass, banking the point of momentum. Parker then spends the next couple of minutes looking for his 4-inch widget. He's probably spent plenty of time in the past doing as well. Oh, that's just mean. That's mean. I'm sorry, but couldn't help myself. So I activate Grace, and due to Blessed, she generates 2 points of influence. I then put Quick Foot on Rage, giving him +2/+2 move. She then sprints into cover. So Windle activates, and he's under the Family aura, which dodges him a kick of more than usual. And he spoons it up the wall massively, missing the pass. So the ball scatters past Grange and snaps to Fallow. Strongbox sprints forward. Fallow activates, and she's going to kick the ball to Grange, benefiting as ever from the family. The intricate passing game of the Farmers on the full display here as Fallow misses a 4-8 kick to a man stood 2 metres to her right. Excuse me. Professional. The ball scatters and just hits straight at the goalpost. Brilliant. Just cough. I'm not taking that out. I activate Fangers Bangers, or Bangers Fangers, even Fangtooth. His name's Fangtooth, who sprints up the pitch a bit. So Grange activates, and due to planting season, he coughs out a harvest marker within 2 inches. He then sprints back a little bit and then forward for most of it, and collects the ball and brings it up the pitch. He then shows the lads how it's done and passes to Windle. Windle then dodges 4 inches using pass and move. He then spends his last point of influence to put up honest labour, so the effects of +1 attack, +1 damage if he is also engaging, much like Rage really. So either by design or by accident, the entirety of the Farmers team is outside of Veteran Rage's charge range, even with all the movement buffs that he's been given. We thought for a moment maybe that Peck would be in, but as it turned out,
your cock is tantalisingly far away.
So disappointingly, I just jog Rage forward a little ways to get him in line with the rest of his crew. So I use quick time on Strongbox to bring him a little bit further up the pitch. So at the end of the turn I have 1 momentums, Parker has 2, and he also elects to eat all 3 of his harvest markers to turn them into a 3 additional influence for turn 2. So Parker wins the roll-off and elects to go first, and as a result, due to Pirate's Ransom, I gain 3 points of momentum. Hey! So he puts 2 on Grange, 1 on Peck, 1 on Windle, 4 on Tater, 3 on Harrow, and 1 on Fallow. Union in turn have 4 on Rage, 1 on Strongbox, 3 on Fangtooth, 1 on Mist, none on Grace, and 2 on Minx. So at the start of his activation, if Harrow is in 4 inches of friendly captain, he may immediately sow the seeds, and that is exactly what he do. So Harrow sows the seeds, dropping a harvest marker within 2 inches of him. He then tools up Tater, making him a tool. Catching me then completely by surprise, Harrow charges Veteran Rage. So he is a TAC 9 versus the 4s and 1s of Vet Rage. He gets 3 net hits and not what he wanted. I'm sure he would much rather have had the 4 net hits for the knockdown. Goes for a momentous sow the seeds instead to get some more harvest markers up. So I activate Fangtooth and spend 1 point of influence to sprint to Rage's aid, engaging Harrow. So due to the fork off rule, and because Tater is within 4 inches of a harvest marker, he gets a counter charge which he duly takes against Fangtooth, placing Tater in such fashion that he engages as many models as possible. Imminent mowdown. So although Parker is rolling all of the dice in the world here, the result is just the same. It triggers Gluttonous Mass on Fangtooth, the attack is ignored. So that's TAC 5 versus 3s and O's of Harrow's 4 net hits, and I go for the momentous 2 knockdown. I have another swing, TAC 5 versus 2s and O's this time's 4 net hits, and I go for 1 damage and a Bloodier, which is a rookie Fangtooth exclusive character play, which means anyone he is engaged with gains the bleed condition. So Windle successfully passes the ball to Grange, and Parker banks the point of momentum. He then jogs forward a mighty 2 inches. I activate Rage and use Heroic Landing to put Bloody Coin onto myself for free. And due to Furious, I charge directly into the knocked down Harrow, seeing as he's no longer engaging me. So with everything involved, that is TAC 14 versus the 2s and O's of the knockdown Harrow, leads to 13 net hits, with which I do 5 damage and a momentous 4 damage and a push, leaving Harrow on 7. So that's TAC 10 versus 2s and O's. I get 8 net hits, which is good for 5 damage and a momentous 2 damage. That takes out Harrow. I get a point of momentum for the takeout, a point of momentum for the playbook result, and a point of momentum for being within the shelling out aura. And that does this to the score. Union 6, Farmers nothing, a devastating charge by Veteran Rage there against Harrow. Thank you, Twitterers, for voting him as the person for me to use. I spend 2 points of influence to quick time Fangtooth to engage Taters. I then use Red Fury to make Fangtooth take an attack against Taters. So that is Tack 5 versus the 4s and O's of Tater. I get a paltry 1 net hit, but that is enough for a momentous knockdown. So Parker activates Grange, who takes a pass to Fallow successfully. Is it Fallow? Yeah, it's Fallow. I keep thinking she's called Farrow. Fallow. Fallow makes a 4-inch jog due to pass and move. Grange has himself a little jog up to Fangtooth, engaging Fangers but staying out of the Strongbox's melee engagement. So that is Tack 6 versus the 2s and 1s of Fangtooth. 5 net hits, and he lets go for a momentous Honest Labour. So he then activates his legendary play, huge tracts of land, placing 2 friendly harvest markers within 6. He places them both near Fallow for reasons that should be fairly obvious, and everyone within that 6-inch aura gets the sturdy trait, allowing them to ignore the first knockdown that gets put on them. Were that not enough, he then uses Planting Season to drop yet another harvest marker. So I activate Minx, and due to Furious, and I charge directly into Fallow. So trying to catch her here. She's still within shelling out, which I've mentioned, so there it is on screen. So she is Tack 10 on the charge, Parker defensive stance and counterattacks, so she is Def 5. I get 6 net hits, with which I used to do a Screeching Banshee even, and 1 point of damage, and then due to damage target, not damage target, even Hunter's Prey, Fallow then suffers Snare Red. Now, with age comes wisdom. Fallow has gained +1 tack cumulatively throughout the turn. She's currently on Tack 6 as a result, and she takes a counterattack at Mink. So she is Tack 6 versus 4s and 1s. She gets 4 net hits and goes for the non-momentous double push, getting her out of melee range. So with nothing else really to do with that influence, is putting marked target on her isn't really going to do much good at this stage, looking at the distribution of influence around my team. I like to end my activation with Minx and back to the shadows, back into engagement with Farrow in an attempt to stop the charge. So at the beginning of his activation, Taters forgoes his advance to stand erect. So that is Tack 7 versus 2s and 1s of Fangtooth, is 6 net hits, which due to the presence of both Tooled Up and Honest Labour is a momentous 5 and a momentous 3. So another swing, to which I declare a counterattack. So that's Tack 7 versus 2s and 1s, 5 net hits, is momentous 5 damage, putting Fangtooth down to 11 wounds. My counterattack then, due to crowdouts and lend a hand, I am Tack 4 versus 4s and O's, 1 net hit, knockdown, which triggers Sturdy from huge tracts of land, and that was a waste of a point of momentum. Third swing, Tack 7 versus 2s and 1s of Fangtooth, 4 net hits, will go to a momentous 4 damage, leaving Fangtooth on 7 wounds now. So he bonus times this last swing. That is Tack 8 versus 2s and 1s. Gets 7 net hits. 7! And that's momentous 5 and momentous 4 damage, which is enough to take out poor old Fangers. So with that, the score is now Union 6, Farmers Guild 2 after the Tater takeout on the rookie Fangtooth. Tater takeout, take a 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 takeout. That's fun to say. Everyone together! Tick out, tick out. This next activation I performed largely because I could say it legitimately, which is I activated Mist, ran towards Peck, and attempted to kick Parker in the cock. So I am Tack 5 due to the rule that I can't remember the name of but is on screen now. Thanks future me for making up for present me's laziness. So Tack 5 versus 5s and O's, 2 net hits is a momentous dodge. This, Peck decides to have a swing back at Mist, so he is Tack 2 versus 5s and O's, 1 net hit is a momentous 1 damage. My entirely worthwhile counterattack then, Tack 5 versus 5s and O's, 2 net hits, I get a dodge, doesn't generate momentum because it's a counterattack, and I dodge into cover. That might be handy later, hooray! I activate Grace, and due to Blessed, she generates 2 points of influence. She then has herself a merry little jog up the pitch, just crossing the halfway line in the general direction of Mist. She then uses Healing Light to heal Mist of the poultry wound that she had taken. Ha! Poultry wound, because she'd taken it from a chicken. I mean, come on, that's gold. So Fallow activates, and because the other 5 members of the team have already activated, she gains +5 tack. Eeeeee. Now, due to making hay, at the start of this model's activation, she may eat up to 2 harvest markers within 4 inches to gain an additional 2 points of influence each. So she's suddenly gone from being on 1 influence to 5. So he spends a point of momentum to take a breather and to remove Snared. So Fallow declares an attack. I in turn spend a point of momentum for a counter attack. That is tack 8 versus 4s and 1s. 3 net hits. Goes for the momentous knockdown, ruining my counter attack. Ruining it, I say. Not such a good swing this time, so it's tack 8 versus 3s and 1s. A 1 net hit is a momentous 1 point of damage. Do. At this point, some fella came up. I didn't catch his name, which is to my eternal shame, and he said to both Parker and I, the amount of commutes that you two are responsible for making going a lot easier is vast. And I take that as an enormous compliment, is that is genuinely the point of this nonsense, is to raise your smile. So thank you very much, chap. I'm terribly sorry I can't remember your name, but that was probably one of the nicest things anyone said to me all weekend. Meanwhile, Fallow has hit someone in the face. So that's tack 8 versus 3s and 1s. 5 net hits will be a momentous 2 points of damage. Realising he's probably not going to kill Minx, but he is over the halfway line, Fallow takes a sprint directly towards goal. At this point, we have what is in our head a very valid discussion about the snared condition and how it possibly could have impacted on this goal run. However, other people may hear it slightly differently.
You're not snared anymore, are you? You're not snared anymore. You're not snared anymore. So you have full movement.
So there we are on her debut. Fallow scores a goal, bringing the score now to 6-all. Beauty. I didn't see that goal coming, and I don't think Parker did until those last 2 points of influence, which fortunately were just enough for him to be able to sprint and to bang it home. Spry old bird. She gets about a bit. No, not like that. That just means she's fast. Steady on now. So she runs the length, going over there, and I kick the ball out, and it goes over there. I activate Strongbox, who is currently engranged by Grange and also Tota, but I don't have a bit of a wordplay to do that, so he's not really got much to do. But however, I'll use 2 points of momentum to remove conditions from Minx. So I'm on 5 momentum, and Parker's on 4. Very important roll off here. I get a 4, and he gets a 1, so I win, and I elect to go first. So I put 4 on Vet Rage, 1 on Fangtooth, 2 on Strongbox, 2 on Mist, 1 on Grace, and 1 on Minx. So that is 6 on Grange, none on Peck, 1 on Windle, 4 on Tater, 2 on Harrow, and none on Fallow. I begin my activation by my turn here by activating Rage, and due to Furious, I charge into Tater and engage Grange as well. So I'm tack 10 when all said and done versus 4s and 0s of Tater. I only get 4 net hits, but that is what I'm after, as I get the knockdown on the pretty boy. I activate Rage's legendary play, My Gang, so whilst within the 6-inch aura, friendly models gain +1 attack and +1 damage to playbook damage results when making an attack that is engaged by another model. Critically also doesn't stack with bloody coin. I turn my attention on Grange, and I am now tack 8 versus 3s and 0s. I get 5 net hits and get exactly what I wanted, which is the momentous 3 damage and a push, pushing Grange to the engagement of Strongbox, triggering My Gang now being effective. Not quite so good this time. Tack 9 versus 3s and 0s. 5 net hits is a momentous 4 damage and a push. I mean, still pretty good. It's just not what I wanted. Come on, let's get some raps. Third attack on Grange. Tack 9 versus 3s and 0s. 6 net hits is a momentous 4 damage and a push. Again, bringing him down to 15 wounds now. Last one. Tack 9, 3s and 0s. 6 net hits, momentous 4 damage and a push. Same again. Very reliable. So Grange turns his attention to Strongbox, so he's tack 7 versus 2s and 2s. His 3 net hits, he goes for the momentous knockdown. So he declares an attack on Vet Rage, and I foolishly declare a counter-attack, and he goes attack 6 versus 4s and 1s. One net hit is, of course, a momentous knockdown. Sit down, fella. He turns his attention on the knockdown rage. That's attack 6 versus 3s and 1s now. 4 net hits is the momentous honest labour. More attackings. Attack 6 versus 3s and 1s. 4 net hits is a momentous 4 damage, which in turn triggers rising anger on rage. He then spends 2 points of momentum to stand up Taters with Come On Mate. He takes another swing on rage. That's attack 7 versus 3s and 1s now, as Taters stood up. That's 1 net hit and only 1 point of damage. One more time, attack 7 versus 3s and 1s. 3 net hits is a momentous 2 damage on poor old rage. He then takes a breather for a final point of momentum, healing himself for 4 wounds, putting Grange on 15 health. I activate Minx, who spends 2 points of momentum to Come On Mate rage, getting the big fella to stand up. And then due to Furious, she charges into Grange. That gag is never going to get old, by the way. Sorry. So what with rage and shelling out and the turtle, tortoise, feet, not flippers, she is attack 12 versus 3s and 0s. 8 net hits is a Screeching Banshee, a momentous 3 points of damage, and the snared condition. So with all the bonuses from rage and shelling out and strongbox and Screeching Banshee and snared, I am now attack 8 versus the 2s and 0s of Grange. 2 net hits, 7 net hits, which with my gang up as well is a momentous 4 damage double dodge and a momentous 3 damage dodge. Oof. So Harrow activates and he has himself a little sprint up the pitch. He then tools up Taters, making him a tool. He then spends 2 points of momentum to Come On Mate and heal him for 4 hit points. I activate Strongbox and forego his advance to stand. Now when Fallow ran the length, Parkin declared that his intention was for Strongbox not to be engaged by her, which is massively in my favour, because were that to be the case, I'd have to attack her due to Protective Instinct. Now, in my excitement, I entirely forgot that I should be getting extra dice here due to being below Defense 2, so I rolled attack 5 versus the 2s and 0s of Grange. 3 net hits is a 3 damage and a momentous 2 damage due to the presence of my gang being up. I bonus time the attack, so that is attack 6 versus 2s and 0s. 4 net hits is 3 damage and 3 damage. 6 damage out of the tortoise. And that's enough to kill Grange. So that brings the score 8-6 to the Union due to Strongbox taking out Grange and gets me an extra point of momentum as well. And then I play Man Marking to get me more influence next turn. So due to I was saving that, which is a rookie Windle exclusive, when the model starts its activation it can place a harvest marker within next to a model that is within a 4-inch aura of it, and he then gains an influence. He then has a sprint a little ways up the pitch. I activate Grace, who, due to Blessed, generates 2 points of influence. She then has a sprint and collects the ball and continues to sprint back towards the centre of the pitch. She then bonus times a pass towards the engaged Mist, needing 5s. I get me a beard, and he has a 4-inch dodge due to pass and move, because, you know, you can't give and receive at the same time. Come on, it's very easy to remember. Very easy. If only there was some kind of handy tips videos to help people with that. And he goes over there, basically. So Parker activates Tater, who takes a swing on Rage. That is attack 5s versus 4s and 1s. 1 net hit is momentous 2 damage. Another swing, attack 5s versus 4s and 1s. 2 net hits, and due to tooled up, that becomes a momentous 3. Third swing, attack 5 versus 4s and 1s. 1 net hit is a momentous 2 damage. Fourth ring, attack 5, 4s and 1s, 1 net hit is a momentous 2 points of damage. So I activate Mist, who has an acrobatic and then jogs into tap-in range. So I bonus time the shot and I kick it in the goal, Parker's goal, not my goal, kick it in the goal.
Ahoy, ahoy! Hello, handy viewers such as you are. I have no idea where that came from. People keep asking, where did that catchphrase come from? It was like, I was stalling for time while I was trying to make something up.
That sounds fair. Yeah. That's a life choice that I would agree with.
So we've just played Don't Touch the Battlehammer.
We have. But he touched it.
I did touch the Battlehammer. So
I liked it a little bit.
It was 12.6.
It was 12.6.
So I think if you're watching this on my channel, you will have just watched that game.
Yes.
And if you're watching it on your channel,
I will have complained about that game probably, or like I'm going to do now. No, it was a good fun game. We did talk quite a lot of nonsense over Guild Ball.
yeah, which is the third stage after video document.
Highlights for you?
Just frankly, the game. Like singing, like if anybody watches the Battlehammer, you sing the songs. You know, it's 1 point of damage, do, and sevens, and all of that. And that for me was like the big highlight. You know, I've watched these guys a lot. I'm a big fan. So this has been like my fanboy moment for the weekend, which is brilliant because that's why you come to conventions, is to see people.
And I think that's one of the things that I like over something like SteamCon. As much as I like tournaments because you play a lot of games.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't on the clock and we could just sit down and hang out
Then
and play a game.
so it wasn't on the clock. The game was an hour and a half. Like looking at the footage, there was an hour and a half worth of footage. It was exactly a round. So there was like no difference between doing it on the clock and not. Look, hang on, wait.
It's facing the other way.
Hang on.
So I had to just use my handy hands.
It's that fella that went to another company.
It's a Martin. Say hello to Martin.
It's him that used to be on Singled Out.
I'll have a proper chat with him in a little while.
That'd be nice. It's good
He's a
beard.
nice guy.
Good beard. It's a nice guy. Ooh.
I liked when you took out Grange with Strongbox. That was fun.
I did like taking out Grange with Strongbox.
I also liked when Fallow scored a goal.
Yes, that was. I did not see that coming. Like storm in, knock down Minx, kick her about a bit, and then you just went, "Oh, she's surprisingly fast."
Yeah.
What do you think? Like that was your first game with Fallow. Fallow.
I liked her. I thought she was fun. I can see that there are counters against her. If you want to, I don't know if she'd be in my every matchup, but I'd put her in a 10 for giggles.
I can see, like, I would if your opponent blind reveals Scalpel.
Yeah.
Because of course the big thing with Fallow is that she turns one harvest marker into 2 influence.
Yeah.
So if you spend influence and stuff putting down harvest markers, and then opponent comes along with Scalpel and just puts influence on her, then you're effectively wasting what has gone into putting the harvest markers down.
Yeah.
So I can see Scalpel being a nasty drop. The camera seems to be deviating up a little bit. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. But I think she's fun. Like she just is playing Matt Hackett last night, and Fallow in one activation destroyed Avarice, which we've tooled up and massive tracks of land up and all that kind of stuff.
I could definitely see her being a beast Reaper choice because really you've got like Tater and Windle at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think she's going to be the third part of that potential for damage in the team.
Have you picked your ass yet?
I haven't. No.
Okay.
I think I can see he's good. And I like him, but I think I like Peck too much because I've been playing with Peck solidly for the last. I think I did a proxy with Buckwheat.
Yeah. Is a 1-inch Peck not an issue?
No, I think that's good. I mean, he's got cocky. I like being cocky.
Yep.
I like his when he rises and everyone gets right up. That's good as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Give him Thresher. Have you pressured the Thresher yet?
No.
Okay.
I'm not a fan. I'm just.
You like Grange?
I like Grange, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is amazing! Oh, it's so broken." Well, in that case, I fucking won't use him. I just use Grange because Grange is great.
I'll win with the guy you think's underpowered. That's all.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Hang on, it's Huggy. It's Huggy. Yeah, exactly. So it's Huggy. He's a patron of Vincent Kirchhoff. That's what he's known for. Because it comes up every single time. It is exceptional.
So we should probably.
I'm going to go and have some
We
lunch.
had a good fun game.
That was brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
I'm not drunk yet.
Which is good.
Planning on being at some point.
Well done. It's still. Sun's over the yard arm. It's half
I know,
one.
right?
Cool. So, as ever, handy viewer, such as you are, I need a better outro. And
Yes. Goodbye, bye. Oh no, don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked it and want to subscribe. If you don't like it, don't want to subscribe. You don't have to like and subscribe. We would like it if you liked and subscribe. And until next time.
stay bearded.
So there you are, handy viewers such as you are. That was my ridiculously entertaining game with Parker. I could not put out on the channel half the things that we discussed between us, as I like to keep this channel family friendly and clean. However, I laughed throughout the duration. Thank you very much, Parker, for being a fantastic sport, giving me a brilliant game, and also for all the very kind words you have said about Don't Touch the Beard, and also just your thoughts on being a YouTuber within the Guild Ball community. Greatly appreciated, chap. And also thank you to the handy Twitterers, such as you are, who voted Vet Rage as my choice to take to SchemeCon. I said I've had been playing a lot of football, been a lot of passing games, done my 20 games in a row with Pin Vice. I've enjoyed the football game, but I want to take a take-out orientated team, and they suggested Vet Rage, and I had an absolute blast using him over the course of SteamCon. So thank you very much for that, folks. So you should be seeing on screen now a beard. Please to be clicking if you wish to subscribe and be notified the moment I upload this nonsense. You will also see a variety of playlists scattered around, which go and have a look at, because if you found this funny, maybe you'll find some of them funny as well. Maybe you won't. If you haven't already, please do go and check out The Rookie, Matt Hackett's new podcast equally. Go and watch the Battlehammer. Like I said so often, I do what I do because those guys do what they do. And as ever, handy viewer such as you are, I need a better outro.